It all started like any other day in Newcastle, England, back in 1968. 4-year-old Martin Brown had gone out to play, just like so many other neighborhood kids. But on May 25th, Martin never made it back home. Some boys playing at an abandoned construction site stumbled upon his small body. He was lying on his back near a window. A bottle of pills was found close by. There were traces of saliva and fluid on his face, leading police to initially think it was an accident. But this was just the first piece of a very dark puzzle. That same day, 2 local girls, Mary Bell and Norma Bell, no relation, were seen hanging around the site. They snuck into the building, curious to see the body. When caught, they were kicked out, but something felt off. Both girls showed an unusual fascination with the case. They even visited Martin's family, making sarcastic remarks and cold comments. Mary, for instance, knocked on Martin's mother's door and asked if she could see him. When the mother said no, Mary replied with a smile,
"I know he passed. I just wanted to see him in his coffin."
Days later, someone broke into the Woodlands nursery and left handwritten notes referencing Martin's death. The notes had a mocking tone. Police didn't take them seriously, thinking it was just a sick prank. They installed an alarm, and it didn't take long to go off. The suspects? Mary and Norma. Mary's behavior started becoming disturbing. She drew a picture in a notebook that matched the scene where Martin's body was found. In class, she boasted to her classmates, saying she was the one who had done it. No one believed her. She even hit Norma during a game and yelled that she was a killer, pointing toward Martin's house. On July 31st of that same year, another child went missing, 3-year-old Brian Howe. His sister, Pat, began looking for him. On July 31st, 3-year-old Brian Howe, his sister, Pat, began. It was a murder. Brian had signs of strangulation, cuts on his thighs and other injuries. Clumps of his hair had been cut, and strange marks were found on his stomach, including a letter that started as an N and was later turned into an M. A pair of scissors was discovered nearby. The neighborhood was in shock. Police began questioning local kids. Mary and Norma were back on their radar. Brian's sister remembered that Mary had suggested exactly where to look. Both girls were brought in for questioning. Norma acted like it was all a game. Mary stayed cold and calm, giving a detailed description of the scissors found near the body. Detective Thompson started having serious doubts. He attended Brian's funeral and saw Mary smiling, rubbing her hands together, as if she was enjoying it. After that, both girls were arrested and interrogated separately. They shouted at each other from their cells, each blaming the other. Norma was the first to confess. She said Mary had suffocated the boy and that she did it for pleasure. Mary admitted being at the scene but blamed Norma. It was clear both were involved. Mary's chilling attitude shook even the most seasoned investigators. The trial began on December 5, 1968. The prosecution argued that whoever was responsible for Brian's death had also taken Martin's life. Forensic evidence was damning. Fibers from Mary's clothing were found on both victims. Norma had written the notes left at the nursery, proving she knew details about Martin's death that had not been made public. Norma broke down several times during the trial. She claimed Mary was the mastermind behind everything, that they would spend hours talking about how to take someone's life. She described how, on the day Brian was killed, Mary had covered his mouth and nose until he stopped breathing. Then, Mary tried to get Norma to finish the job. Norma instead ran to a friend's house. The injuries on Brian's body had been inflicted after he had already passed. 2 people had been involved. Mary later admitted to bringing scissors to cut his hair and razor blades because she wanted to harm his body. During the trial, Mary showed no emotion. She was manipulative and had strong control over Norma. When questioned, she claimed everything she knew was just gossip and that the drawings and notes were meant as jokes. But her actions told a different story. Both girls blamed each other, but it became clear that Mary was the dominant one. Norma had followed her out of fear or submission. The jury believed Norma had been under Mary's influence and declared her not guilty. Mary, on the other hand, was convicted of manslaughter due to diminished responsibility linked to her mental state. Mary's backstory was deeply tragic. Born in 1957 to a young, abusive mother, her childhood was filled with neglect, mistreatment, and extremely traumatic experiences. She showed signs of aggression from an early age. She had tried to choke other children, pushed her cousin off a roof, and got pleasure from harming animals. A head injury damaged her frontal lobe, affecting her ability to tell right from wrong. On top of that, her mother forced her into inappropriate situations with clients. All of this shaped her behavior permanently. After her conviction, Mary was sent to a reform school. Her case made international headlines. Her mother took advantage of the media attention and sold stories about her. In 1980, Mary was released at the age of 23. She tried to rebuild her life. In 1984, she had a daughter, on the very same date she committed her first crime. But society wouldn't leave her alone. When a book about her case was published in 1998, her identity and whereabouts were revealed. She was forced to flee. Finally, in 2003, Mary and her daughter were granted lifelong anonymity. The well-known Mary Bell Order allowed them to live free from being hunted by their past. This case leaves us with many questions. Can someone truly change after committing such dark acts? Is it fair to carry the weight of something done in childhood for the rest of your life? What do you think? Was justice really served? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.